Hey everyone, thank you for joining into our very first episode of Keep Kansas Home. My name is Rick Kloos and I'm here with my wife Penny today. And if you haven't heard, I'm running for governor as an independent candidate, and I've actually, dear, completed the entire process of gathering over 5,000 signatures to get my name on this November's election ballot. Keep Kansas Home has been the theme of our whole campaign, and we're actually here today doing this program out of our campaign office. So if they hear something.
This is what you see behind us is still and quiet, but out front there's cars going, people walking by. If you see us wave or, whatever, just ignore that part. Ignore the extra noises that you hear.
Exactly. And so in keeping with the theme, Keep Kansas Home, you can go to our website, kloosforkansas.com, and we talk about Keep Kansas Home, Keep Kansas Safe, Keep Kansas Educated, and Keep Kansas Viable. And so every week, we're hoping every week anyways, that we're going to put out 1 to 2 15-minute episodes on different social and political topics that concern the people of Kansas, and talking about also just issues that we're concerned about as far as our platform goes. Like last year we traveled the state when we were campaigning and collecting signatures.
Yeah, last year when we were out talking, we ran into so many different things, but the main thing that we heard was from our teachers, and we kept hearing that they're not feeling valued. Their salaries are plateauing way too soon, and their friends are moving away to other states because they're getting better pay and better incentives.
So they don't feel valued, supported, and their salaries plateau. Boy, we heard that so many times. And
that was one of the main things.
Education is so important. The second area too is the budget, the economy. And you think about this, 8 years ago we were $1 billion ahead, and now we're $1 billion with a B behind right now. So a lot there. And another platform area that's a big concern is just keeping Kansas appeal.
Yeah. Well, and that has to go along with our teachers, keeping Kansas home. Kansas Appeal is also talking about our students who are graduating from our colleges. We have excellent colleges, but they're graduating and they're moving to other states because they can't find the jobs here. So we want to keep Kansas home for our students, our teachers. We want to keep it appealing in the sense of our roads and our state parks and our those kind of things. That the natural appeal,
lakes,
and also just keeping people here.
So we're going to have to really look for creative and innovative ways to do that. And there was actually about a few weeks ago on WIBW a little news story that Kansas ranks 5th on people moving out of the state versus in. So you can imagine what can we do to draw people here. When people are driving through our great state, are they saying, boy, I want to get out of here, I don't like this, or is there something that says, well, I'd love to live here in Kansas? And that's what we need to change somehow. So a lot of different areas. And then obviously we're going to be talking about why we ran as an independent. We're going to have a whole episode on that, why independent, and the whole process. But it's right now where we're at. We've been doing this since last January is when we made a decision. I say we because we've been married 32 years. We sat down with the boys, and doing a program's not new to us because we were actually on WIBW for about 7 years doing a broadcast.
Yeah, we had a program for 7 years that we did. It was on biblical issues, just encouraging people in their walk and their life. But now this one's going to be political. It's going to be about the concerns of Kansas, not just the things that are out there on the forefront, the budget and school funding, that kind of thing, but also we want to speak on topics of like autism and substance abuse and human trafficking. And one thing that's been prevalent just here close to home is the amount of suicides, and so we want to have some discussion on that also, but we'll get into those later.
These are really important social issues that
They do affect the state.
Yeah, how many times did we go to small communities, small towns, and we're asking them, well, what would you like to see the next governor do? Or what concerns you? And 8 out of 10 times it's, well, we got such a bad opioid situation in our town. And what can you do about that? And, that hits home. I used to be a police chaplain and a hospice chaplain for over 9 years. And it's, these types of things that they're important to the people. That's why they're bringing them up. So what can we do? So every week, once again, we're going to try to bring a different episode, maybe 1 or 2, release them to really just let you become more familiar with us. And that's kind of why we started this, because through the broadcast, a lady actually made a post. And I learned that word, post, now.
She posted that she had missed our program. We run into people a lot just out and about the grocery stores, wherever, that say, hey, we missed your program. Even down at the Kansas State Fair, people came up and said that. They missed our program. It's because they got to know us. And
there was a connection
there was a connection. And so we just thought, maybe we can bring that to this and let them get to know you and your stances on things.
Well, there's been a lot said about transparency and the need for candidates to be transparent. And really, it's not just, okay, I get into this office and I'm going to be transparent. Transparency is about where you're at right now. And that was one of the things we just tried to be who we are. On that broadcast, and here again, you'll get to know us one way or another through these programs. But it's so important, and it all connects to the health of really our state and seeing our state thrive and grow. I was thinking, dear, Keep Kansas Home so important because since the year 2000, we've only grown like 231,000 people in the state. And when we talk about like big areas, counties, Sedgwick County, Johnson County, Wyandotte, where they've seen a lot of growth, most of that has been through transfer growth from rural Kansas. So rural Kansas is depleting, and yet urban areas are growing, but that's still half the national average compared to the rest of the nation. So we really need to see people settle into Kansas and move to Kansas for the first time. A lot of challenges ahead of us.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Well, let's, dear, talk a little bit about where we grew up in Kansas. And I grew up in the Miltonville area.
And I grew up in Concordia. My family's in Belleville.
Central.
But
your family runs the Belleville.
My family has a museum, the Boyer Museum. They're incredible people, funny people.
Yeah.
But very ornery. But no, we graduated. I graduated from high school. You got your GED. We got married and went to Bible college in North Dakota. Got our degrees there, and then.
I actually got a
waited
degree
5 years and had our kids.
Our first kids, yeah. So
our first
only
kids. That's the only set we're having. I'm done.
Now we got grandbabies on the way, but so I got a bachelor's in Bible and theology, and so did you. And being up there, and we went to school in. Now I'm drawing a blank. North Dakota, yeah. Went to school in North Dakota, but. Being now here in Kansas for all these years, the first, when I was in grade school, I actually, the first class I took in grade school, I remember, was Future Farmers of America.
Oh my.
So that speaks to the farmers, right? So
I thought you were going to share your...
Oh yeah, having the opportunity to learn how to castrate a hog. So that's only, you can talk to Kansans about that. But anyways, let's get back on track here. We also started God's Storehouse. We founded it about 8 years ago, and
going to be 9 this June. Yeah. God's Storehouse is. If you don't know what it is, when we say God's Storehouse around this area, not just Topeka, but the surrounding.
It's a staple in the community.
People know it, and they know what it's about. They love it. Our community loves it because. You would just have to experience it. But if you don't know what it's about, you can go on Facebook and check it out. There's videos and stuff, and KSNT was nice enough to do a nice little shop for us, but it's a great help in the community. And speaking of which, we've been in community service almost all of our lives, and that's what we do, and we kind of, you're wanting to take it to a state level now.
Yeah, well, we've been so proactive in community, just helping people. Like some of the programs we do there through the store is for prison release, getting people back on track, helping them get clothing, people that need furniture.
People who come in have
we work
have
with
been
a lot of
through a
other
rough time.
nonprofit agencies.
Networking.
And so that's so important. So the community things, like you said, bringing to a state level. And so when we're talking about running for governor, when I'm talking about that, because it's we when we've been married for 32 years, everything's we. It's also about our kids. And somebody said that our dreams and aspirations, you get to a place in life that they can no longer be just about you. And Kansas is in a pivotal place, and we want to see a better Kansas and a successful Kansas because of our kids and our grandkids, your grandkids. 5 months ago, our first little grandbaby was born into the world, and Jude Paul.
Yeah.
And, boy, he's a bundle of joy. Look at him right there.
Little cutie.
And he actually was born on solar eclipse day. He was the first solar eclipse baby, and had a good news interview on him, so that'll be something for keepsake. And then most recently, our second grandbaby, born
Richard Roman.
There he is.
They call him Roman. He's a little cutie.
And here again, this is part of why we're running, why I'm running for governor, because of their future. So important.
Yeah, what are we leaving behind for our kids?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you think about running as an independent candidate, and we're going to be talking about that in our next episode, I just want you to understand that there are now over 1.8 million people registered to vote in Kansas. And our population's around almost 3 million, but 1.8 million people, and of all those people, there's 544,000, we got this chart up here now, 544,000 unaffiliated or independent people that are registered to vote. There's 808,000 Republicans and 450,000 Democrats, and then you can just see the other there, just a small portion for the others. But it just shows you that we can really win this thing. And everywhere we travel, people say, boy, I can see an independent. And being an independent is about representing the people. And that's what we really want to do. Yeah. We want to represent the people of Kansas, all the people of Kansas. It's so important.
Yeah, and you can, not just a party.
That's right. And people don't have to leave their party necessarily to vote for an independent governor. Yeah. So more to be said on that, but we just hope that we'll be connecting with you. And dear, I just had another final thought as we close out today, and it's just actually from a scripture in 1 Chronicles 12:32. It said that God had given understanding to the sons of Issachar of the times so they would know what to do. God will give them wisdom and understanding. You can be smart and you can be educated, and that's all good, but you could still lack the wisdom to do the right things in the right time. And that's what we really need right now, more than anything, in our leadership. And we need to see a governor who's going to be about the people and mentor as well this next generation into the importance of living and serving in public office in a democracy. It's so important. So we want to thank you today for joining in. And one of the things you're going to hear me say quite often is this, that together we can build a better Kansas. Together we can be successful, and together we can what?
Win.
We can win. Thank you for joining in today, and we'll see you next time right here at Keep Kansas Home.